Hey, 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 Cancer. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Right now, I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. So, Cancer, I'm one of y'all, okay? First off, I am one of y'all. Please don't crucify me. So here's the thing. I've been doing readings for the past couple days, and I don't know what it is because all the cancers I know are not part of any of this type of BS. But cancer energy keeps being brought up in different readings and being painted in such a negative way. It's really boggling my mind. Part of me wonders if there is something that is really intent on creating a lot of havoc for Cancer. I mean, really, and I know quite a few cancers. All the cancers that I know are not involved in like crazy ass circumstance. I'm just saying. I'm on your side, Cancer. I'm on your side. So I asked the energy, what is this reading going to be about? And it's intense, guys. It's really intense. I don't know what's going on. It's this sense that it's almost like chaos is purposely trying to be created for Cancer. Have you guys been see Plum? See what I'm saying? I mean, Cancer, have you guys been feeling like there is someone in your life that is intentionally trying to create havoc for you and they haven't been able to successfully do so yet, but you've kind of just been avoiding it by the skin of your teeth because, man, it's like non-stop the mentioning. I'm like, whoa, I got Cancer in a major placement on my chart. I don't know why y'all are saying this about Cancer. It's crazy. And it's not people people are agreeing, but the cards are saying it. I'm just like, what is going on? So I'm just pulling you guys cards right now. Pulling us cards right now because I'm a Cancer too. All right. Wow. That's crazy. Here we go. Is that what's happening for you, Kathy? It's intense. It's intense. I know you totally are not a drama person. I know that for a fact. You are not a drama. You will put the smack down for drama, but you're not a drama person. You don't initiate it. The readings where Cancer was mentioned, it was a very strong sense that, oh, Cancer's the issue. Cancer's creating it. I'm like what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that's it, Billy. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a need. See, this card came up again. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead. These are all shuffled, but I want to shuffle it one more time just to be sure. Where is that? So we'll just do this. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. Okay. Oh, another. Okay. This deck. Michael said I'm not done pulling cards. that I need to pull from this deck as well. All right, here goes, guys. Let's do this. All right, let's see what's going on. All right. So a lot of things are definitely being said. Okay, a lot of things are definitely being said. Card number 36, listening for truth. So it's this sense that you have been surrounded with dark intention, dark behaviors, and you're trying not to be like that. You know what I mean? But it's getting hard. It's getting hard for you to close your eyes to what's going on. Card number 47, the smoky mirror. So it's like they're trying to what's in front of you is not who you are. There's I had posted this on, I think, Facebook, where it's not always the most spiritual thing to believe that everything in front of you is a reflection of an unhealed part of yourself. I don't think this is what's going on. For some, it might be, okay? For others, I don't think this is what's going on. It's a smoky mirror, meaning your reflection is distorted. So if you're looking in a smoky mirror, does that mean you're that level, that depth of darkness? No, it's smoky. So there's a distortion going on, and that distortion is very much tied to the things that are being said about you, or it's almost this feeling of like a narcissistic exchange where you're being gaslit. Just a lot of manipulations going on. A lot of manipulations. Card number 3, you've been patient for quite some time. Look at her face. She looks like she's just about had it. You know? Like the emotion is kind of just like, you know what? Do you really want to go there? That's interesting. This is what I'm being shown. You kept your eyes closed for quite some time. You've kept your eyes closed to everything for quite some time. And now that you're opening your eyes, you're admitting to yourself what's going on. Yeah, it's a very icy feeling, right? It's this sense that you were trying to believe that, you know, the respect and the love was mutual, and that, oh, just, you know, just let it slide off your back. No worries, no worries. We're just not going to say anything. But now it's like, no, we in winter. There's nothing tropical about this. So yeah, no, it's time for you to begin really acknowledging what's going on. Divine guardian, protection of the winged mother. Oh. That's the goddess within you. That's the feminine, divine mother energy within you. Look at that. She's holding a big ass sword. Like, wow. It's a sense that you're ready to go to war for yourself. You're ready to go ahead and neutralize whatever this is. Maybe you need to. For some, maybe you don't. Okay. For some, what might be going on is you're being provoked, triggered to return back to old patterns of confrontation. It's just going to turn out ugly for some of you. That if you go back to that, you know, catty behavior, which I don't even really think it's catty, but that's personal. You know, I personally don't feel it's catty. But if you revert to that, I think it might actually bite you in the ass later for some. But that's not to say that we are to enable people without saying something or by not saying something. Excuse me. Let me just find this. So, divine guardian, protection of the winged mother. You're venturing through a time of significant spiritual growth and healing. There are many changes occurring internally, and they will be reflected in your external world soon also. You are protected during these times by the love and strength of the winged mother, Lady Isis. You can relax and allow your transformation to happen. Let your divine guardian protect you now as you learn to let go and trust in your own unfoldment for the greatest good. So if you're going to plan how you're going to put someone in their place, that's not the key. That's not going to get you anywhere. Now, if you're minding your own business, going about your merry way, and someone gets in your face and you pause for a second and respond with the appropriate level of aggression and force needed for that circumstance, that's way different than plotting. Like, I'm going to do this. And no, that's returning back to old patterns that don't serve you. That's ego-based, fear-based. Now, when you're faced with a threat in front of you, and it can be any kind of threat, it can just be a very subtle type of threat, but there's nothing wrong with you sticking up for yourself. Okay. There's nothing wrong with you, speaking your needs. Like, I'm going to need you to stop addressing me in that way. I find it to be very disrespectful. And I believe I deserve more respect than that, especially being as I give you quite a bit of respect. So I'm going to need you to reciprocate the level of respect that I show you. And you're going to kindly need to stop speaking to me in that manner. Nothing catty about that. There's nothing plotting or fear-based about that. This is about you flexing your sovereignty, letting people know, let me adjust my crown. I am a royal. I am the king or queen of this auric kingdom, and you will address me as such. You will not speak to me as though I'm some lowly peasant. Recognize the royal in front of you. Nothing wrong about that at all, okay? So some people you can speak to in that way and let them know. Other people, they need a little bit of dagger action. Card number 25, Kali, liberation. So I'm feeling like for some, this is about to really get messy, real messy. And it's this sense that you might not be able to avoid the mess. No matter how much you tiptoe around it, I think the eggshells are already on the floor. And so the makings of the mess are already there. Okay. It's already there. So you can't avoid it. And maybe for some who can't avoid the mess, maybe it was placed before you so that you could understand something about yourself. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to finally begin to speak your truth, allow your authenticity to shine through, and really just honor your sovereignty. Make it known to those who don't seem to understand. You are a sovereign, and you will not be treated in that way. And if they cannot abide by the rules of your auric kingdom, they must remove themselves from your presence. There's nothing infantile about this. Nothing. You're not having a tantrum. You're recognizing your worth. You're speaking your needs. Nothing unevolved about that. Okay. Unspiritual. People seem to think that being a doormat is spiritual, and it's not. It's weakness. Okay. It's weakness. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm just being very matter of fact. It's a weakness. It's not spiritual. Oftentimes people try and coerce others into weakening themselves by saying, no, you have to be spiritual and you have to just turn the other cheek. I guarantee you, when Jesus turned the other cheek, it was to cock his hand back and bitch slap the person, because he wasn't going to have any of that. Okay, Jesus was not a doormat. And if you look by definition, modern times definition, if you look at the stories that surround Jesus and his life, he was a terrorist of that time. Let's get that shit straight. One of the most spiritual figures of human history was a terrorist. Okay? Okay. So let's straighten out that spiritual contortion. So at this point, card number 49, Jupiter. Jupiter. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, card number 49, Jupiter, benefits. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Ooh, damn. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You need to begin preparing yourself mentally and emotionally, not plotting what you're going to do to someone, but preparing yourself to be able to have the courage to speak up when you need to speak up. I'm sorry, you can't do that to me. Okay, that's way different than you like, I'm gonna tell that bitch. I'm gonna choke slam. No, you're not. You're not. Okay, you're going to begin to correct that desire to go back to an old place, an old cycle of toxicity, a cycle you've already outgrown. You're not participating in that again. This individual that is causing whatever this is, they're nothing more than a trigger, the impetus for your growth. That's it. Don't give them more power or authority or significance in your journey than what they really are. Okay? It's like a thorn in your shoe, alerting you that something needs to be done about your shoe. Okay? That's all they are. That's all they are. Don't make them out to be your actual foot, where without them, if it doesn't function, you're maimed and you're, crippled. And no, a thorn in the shoe is a thorn in the shoe. Just remove it. That's it. That's it. So with this card gives you the green light, the go ahead. All paths are now clearing and you're to take the utmost advantage of this. Speed forward in your spiritual journey. Keep trucking down your spiritual path, okay? Goals or plans you started more than a decade ago will begin to bear fruit, either right now or at least very soon. Something very good is about to emerge from the debris of the past. So using one of the comments that I had seen earlier, something about like a mother-in-law, I think. Did I say that earlier? Well, okay, we'll use that. If you've been in a long-term relationship and you have had friction with the mother-in-law for quite some time and you've kept very quiet, this is the moment where you can shift everything. Okay? If you have kind of just kept taking it because you don't want to create issues and, you're trying to be respectful due to old ideals of what were to allow elders to do. Now would be an amazing time for you to maybe go out together to dinner, just the two of you, and kind of have a little chat. Not where you're going to set them straight, but where you're going to ask questions and allow them to actually speak to you, express their thoughts and their feelings to you, so that you can better understand where that behavior is rooted, because obviously it's not with you. There's something going on internally that's causing them to lash out at you, because for whatever reason, you are a safe space for them. They can do this with you, and you'll still allow them to stay around. You see how that is? Now, once you have conversations where you're not pointing the finger like you're wrong, where you can just be like, out to dinner, just the two of you, and then say, we've always had like one of those weird relationships. What's that about? I've always tried to figure it out. I know that, with me being with your child, your son, it could be some sort of power struggle, but I'm not interested in fighting for power with you. You're his mom. I could never take your place. I'm curious, where is that coming from so that I can understand and I don't repeat it with my own child, because you have the wisdom that I don't. You have the life experience that I don't. So maybe if you could offer me some advice. And when you frame the conversation in that way, where it's not an attack, it's simply to understand because they do have more life experience than you. That doesn't mean they're better than you. It doesn't mean they're smarter. It doesn't mean they're more evolved. It just means they've experienced more. And you can benefit from knowing about some of those experiences. And it makes them feel validated. It makes them feel heard. And suddenly, the level of respect that they have for you begins to increase. But if you can't do this, that's fine too. This is a hard thing to do. This is really a very, very challenging test of how much you've allowed yourself to evolve. I had struggles with my own mother-in-law. She's not a bad person, but it took me years to understand the issue is not me. The issue was never me. The issue was that she was having a hard time letting her baby boy go. That's not a bad thing. That doesn't make her a bad person. But until you're able to recognize that the root is not you, it's not a personal attack, you're going to be fully invested in that emotion. So now Jupiter's giving you the green light to begin the healing process. And that didn't begin until I had a little conversation with her, not one where I'm attacking her, one where I asked her about her life experiences, about being a woman that, married a man that has a mother, like how did it go? What was it like? And she began really talking to me, and then she began sharing some of her feelings and thoughts about her own relationship with her mother-in-law. And I didn't say a word. I didn't correct her. I didn't agree. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. And I think because there was no judgment, no pointing fingers, no competition, we kind of just like two women talking, it really shifted our relationship. And not long after that, our relationship began to heal itself. It really began to heal itself. And I really looked forward to spending time with her again. So if you can do that for whatever it is in your life that you're having these kind of struggles where a smoky mirror is being placed in front of you and everything is being distorted, it can really be that stepping stone to the healing. Okay? Because people aren't inherently bad. They're not. They're not inherently bad. Their behaviors oftentimes, and this is not to excuse the behavior. This is to help you better understand why the behavior is not because of you. Oftentimes, people who do inappropriate behaviors that are rude or hurtful to other people, the people around them, they don't even recognize that that's the effect. To them, it's like, why are you mad? Well, if you're getting defensive, then it must be true. And it's like, no, it's just abrasive. What you said was abrasive. I'm not offended. It doesn't apply to me, but it's abrasive. And sometimes those people have never had anyone hold up a mirror and voice these things. So you can't really fault someone for not knowing better until they actually know better. Right? So now, Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Here we go. Overly careful in small things at the expense of the great. Penny wise and pound foolish. Gain of ready money in small sums. Apprenticeship. So this kind of goes back to what I was just talking about, where you're focusing on the small details between the two of you instead of seeing the big picture, that it's not just you. Okay? You just happen to be receiving the culmination of a life of all kind of stuff. All of this stuff is built up, and it's just one of those things. It's not to excuse it either, though. Shoot, where is it? Lord of Prudence. This is tied to Virgo. Virgo. So you're definitely, it's pulling in some of that Virgo energy, the need to organize, the need to be prepared, be able to really have a contingency plan for every potentiality. Here's a really good tidbit that I had an aha moment. I was like, oh, as my husband helped me come to this aha moment. You're able to see things in such a way that other people can't see. Okay. If they can't see it the way you see it, does that make them any less right? Does that make you more wrong? No. You just see things differently. And if you see things differently, how do you expect someone to have the same conclusion as you? My husband said to me once, I'm not you. You're expecting me to act like you, and I'm not you. Like the things that are common sense to you aren't common sense to most people. And that's one of the things I struggle with a lot. That's common sense. And he's like, actually, it's not. No one else would see it like that. Like the way I see the cards, to me, that's common sense. I mean, look at that shit. It's just telling you a whole story right there. And he's like, that's not common sense. That's not common sense. See what I'm saying? And the whole thing is about you being able to see things on a much higher level, and they're just not there. That doesn't mean you're better or they're worse. It just means you have a higher ability. Yeah, see, Kathy, you and I are very alike anyways, though. She says, he always tells her, not everyone thinks like I do. My husband always says that to me too. Yeah. And that's probably why there's friction. If you're having friction, what was it, you that made a comment? I think it was you. If there is friction, it's probably because part of the reason is they feel inferior. And so they have to kind of, puff up their chest feathers a little bit more to be able to, feel like an equal to you. But you're not doing that. You're not the one initiating that. It's their own insecurity that's rising up because they feel and know and acknowledge on some level the greatness that you are. And for some, it's really intimidating, So is the problem you? No, that's an internal problem. And, yeah. You know what I had finally recognized, because I was like, I'm not competing with you to be his mom. My mind couldn't wrap around it. It was this, she wasn't ready for him to grow up, which, I mean, mothers aren't ready for their sons to grow up ever. I have quite a few boys. I want them to be babies forever. But it's this thing where when you see another woman, sometimes, not all women do this, but sometimes you analyze her and you see all the ways in which she's stronger than you, all the ways in which she excels where you don't. And then now she has your baby too. You know what I mean? So it's a whole psychological thing that goes on. I don't know. I think at some point, when my own children are grown enough to bring someone home, I'm gonna be like, look here, you little hussy. You probably got some demons. No. That's probably gonna be me too. I'm not above recognizing that. That's probably gonna be me too. She or he is probably gonna be like, your mom is crazy. I sure am. But yeah, it's a weird dynamic.